Good evening. Thank you everyone for coming. Certainly the summer seems to be sailing right by and September's going to be here very shortly. I'd like to thank all of the buildings and ground staff that's getting everything together. Our two principals that are here doing what they do best, and everyone else in the administration team and all the board members, everyone here tonight. It sounds like the swim lessons were a very good success. I didn't hear anything negative come from that, so that sounded like things went well, and hopefully that continues on next year. I wanted to talk a little bit about the future bus garage proposal. We will be putting together a committee for participation in the design of the project. We are going to randomly select 3 community members. In order to apply for this particular project, you'll need to fill out a form that will be available on the school website, Parent Square, and what was the other?
Put it on the website, Parent Square, and then it'll be in the paper.
Right. You'll need to physically bring that form to the district office, hand it in to Danielle. We at the September board meeting will randomly pick those in open session so that we'll determine who's going to participate in that particular committee. We will also have the head of transportation as the 4th member. We will pick, a fill-in in case someone is not able to, fulfill their commitment. So an alternate. We'll pick 4 people, but only 3 of them. The first 3 will serve. The 4th will be the alternate, and then we'll have the head of transportation. Just so that everybody's clear, you physically need to bring that form in and give it to Danielle. So. We need to be able to prove your residency. We need to make sure everything's authentic, and know that you're serious about this. And I think that's about it. Does any other board members have any comments, questions, concerns? I really like the new setup. This is good.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I don't care for it.
I'm sorry, Chris. All right, and next, actually, just as a note, next month we will be up at the elementary school. I believe we're going to be in the library. We're just making sure that that all works out, but we're going to alternate our meetings from this space to the elementary school, so we can be in both beautiful buildings. So summer is underway. I wanted to introduce here, we've got Mr. Godfrey and Mr. Duell. They've been with us working really hard since July 1. I really genuinely appreciate having them as part of our team. They have really made themselves well known. They've built their teams here, have really acclimated well, and now it's really, August is kind of that Sunday. We're really getting ready for that opening day with staff on September 2nd, and then with students. We've got kids coming back next week for sports, which we're excited about. It feels all too quiet around this place. But as Jared said, I feel like our crew has done an incredible job outside, inside, really making the place shine. They're ahead of schedule inside, so our teachers are getting back, able to get into their spaces and make sure they're well established for the start of the school year. In terms of our summer meal program, that is winding down, believe it or not. Again, hard to believe summer's coming to an end. We had a great article, positive press on that last week in the Post-Star. Wednesday is the last delivery, and really, Lori and I we're going to look at the kind of financials and the outcomes. We'll share that at the September board meeting in terms of what that was, the cost of the district. But really, we know 175 kids were served very well this summer. So thanks to everybody involved with that. Big thanks to our high school team putting together Regents reviews. We've got our August Regents coming up here. We're well underway to make that happen for the end of summer for our students here. We've got our Railroader Camp. So Topher is working hard. I'm excited to see what this Railroader Camp is for our 7th grade students, but Topher has that coming up here at the end of August. And our seniors are going to be painting their parking spots out front. We were just working with Penny and Shane to have the previous spots blacked out so the new team can come in and the seniors can really sparkle it up with their first kind of senior event. I know Mr. Duell and I talked, we need to work on our student member of the board. Those elections take place in September. So we will work on making sure that that student is selected. I think there's more conversation if we want 1 or 2 people. I know sometimes when we're selecting students, they often are our busiest students, and so we can have a conversation about whether it's 1 person or 1 person and an alternate, or 2 people, so that we have that representation each month. We are fully staffed at this point, which feels good to say, so let's hope it stays that way. In terms of facilities, the football field, hopefully you took a look at that. That is coming along. The program is back. We're working on some spot treatments of some of the areas, but overall it should be ready to roll for the first football game, which is here the first week of September, that Friday afternoon, which will be excited. We are having 5 trees removed, so if you see people on campus, we've got a number of tree removals happening August, Lori, I think, here, coming up in the next couple of weeks here. Just for the board, I had put in some information on the Adirondack Area School Boards meetings. I know we're members of that. The first meeting is in September, so let me know if you're interested in that. There's another training opportunity we'll talk about at the end. We have a community event coming up. I'm really excited. With John and Doug being new, and myself, we thought having a community event to have everybody back to campus before the start of the school year. We're collaborating with BOCES to get their STEAM bus here. So food service will have a cookout, and we're really hoping for good participation from the community at that. That will be August 25th, 11 to 2. Drop in, have some fun, and then we'll be excited to welcome back our staff and kids to start first weeks of September. So that's it. Just a few quick things.
Gentlemen, do you have anything that you'd like to share, say?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sure you're both new to these types of things, right?
Certainly glad to be back, part of a good team. So happy to be back here. A few highlights here. The elementary schedule is pretty much set. Maybe some small tweaks at this point. We are busy registering any new and incoming students that are coming in here, making sure we're ready to welcome them. Our UPK screening is all set, scheduled for Tuesday, August 25th and Wednesday, August 26th. And also looking forward to meeting the students at our community event. So glad to be back.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity. Really looking forward to it. Just went through the number of things that are going on at the high school level, and I just want to share that, I'm beginning to meet the staff, put names with faces, become familiar with the building, and it looks like you've got a lot of things going in a positive direction. I'm looking forward to meeting our students and our families in that opening day. It's all coming way too quickly. And everyone here has been really welcoming, and the sharing of information has been great, and I'm really looking forward to the opening of school, so thank you.
And certainly I want to reiterate that we're at your disposal. If there's anything that we can do to help or support you, please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you for your time.
Kendra, anything on your end?
Nothing on my end. I just want to give a thank you to the teachers who are coming in next week to help out with Regents exams and are coming in a little early from their summer vacay. So we always appreciate that.
School supplies have all been delivered. So next week we have a few high school students who will be sorting them and placing them in all of the classrooms for pre-K through 12. So that's exciting. And at the end of the month, we have the parking lot striping that's going to be happening. So I think it's the last Thursday, Friday, 2 afternoons. The parking lot may be partially, just the high school, partially or fully closed those 2 days for striping.
I think it's super important to point out how paramount and awesome that is that we can supply those students with all their needs for the year. That's pretty incredible. If there's something that we can do to continue that on in future years, that's really what it's all about. So thank you to everyone who made that possible. Okay. We're all set.
Okay. So at this point, I'll take a motion or I'll make a recommendation for the board to approve the treasurer's reports as presented.
Motion to approve. Mr. Pratt, second.
Second.
Mr. Lambert? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
Alright. I will recommend the board take action to adopt the resolution to confirm the tax rolls and authorize the tax levy.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Dr. Newell, second. Mrs. Gordon? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
Recommend the board take action to approve and adopt the resolution concerning the tax warrant.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Dr. Newell, second.
Second.
I think you got beat out, Mr. Pratt.
Oh,
Thank you,
fine.
Mr. Lambert. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Carried.
I will recommend the board take action to approve the school tax notice.
Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
They're really testing it tonight.
I couldn't hear in the first place. All right. Dr. Newell, and the second is Mrs. Gordon. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
All right. Board minutes. So I recommend the board take action to approve the board minutes as presented here.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Mr. Pratt, second.
Second.
Mr. Lambert, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
All right, so I recommend the board take action to approve the 2026-2027 SDPC ROC Board Resolution. That's really, thanks Mike for that. Basically, it authorizes the use, do you want me to read it?
Yeah, I was just hoping you
Yeah,
could repeat
yeah.
that one.
Yeah. So basically, the resolution reads, the Whitehall Central School District Board of Education authorizes the use of DPAs negotiated by the ROC and its attorneys consistent with its needs and the needs of its students, and be it further resolved, the Whitehall Central School District reserves to itself the right to make determinations regarding the use of DPAs and the software and or technology resources to which they relate, and to consult with its own legal counsel to review any specific issues or concerns before executing any DPA. And if you're wondering what a DPA is, as I was, it's basically the district's privacy agreement,
Okay.
data privacy agreement.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Dudley, second.
Second.
Dr. Newell, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
All right. I recommend the board take action to approve the CSE and CPSE minutes from the attached dates.
You
You don't want to read all those things.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're one busy lady, huh? All right.
No,
I'm kidding.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mrs. Gordon, second.
Second.
Dr. Newell, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
All right. I recommend the board take action to approve the members of the CSE, CPSE Parent and Manifestation Action for the school year.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Dr. Newell, second.
Second.
Mrs. Gordon, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
I recommend the board take action to approve the impartial hearing officer rotational list.
Motion to approve.
Make motion.
Mr. LaChapelle, second.
Second.
Mr. Pratt, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
All right. Here's some appointments. I recommend the board approves Mr. Mason Heckman to the position of summer swim aide, effective July 6th through July 24th, compensated at $18.55 an hour, and all of his clearances were previously obtained.
What if we say no?
You got some free labor this summer.
I might want to say we already paid them. Knowing kids these days, there might not be any clearance. Sure, I can do them all in one shot, sure. Second one is Ava Waters to the position of summer swim aide, effective same dates, July 6th through July 24th, at the same compensation rate. Also Ava Ruby to the position of summer swim instructor, July 6th through July 24th. She is compensated at $20 an hour. Again, she is the instructor instead of that aide. I have Olivia Lemery, also a swim instructor, at $20 an hour. We've got Aiden Mowat, compensated $20 an hour to be a swim instructor. And we've got Haley Jenkins, position of, this is a different one, food service helper, effective starting September 2nd, 2026, compensated at $18.73 per hour. Her probationary period will end March 3rd, 2027. Again, all clearances obtained. I also recommend the appointment of Shannon Huntington to the position of a long-term substitute for third grade, effective September 2nd, compensated at the contractual rates. And then we have corrected extracurricular advisors for the class of 2031. I've got Topher Montville. Class of 2032, I've got Christina Wilson and Melissa Clark. And I recommend we appoint Mr. Keith Redmond to the position of fall track coach for the 26-27 school year, compensated per the contract. Is that good? Yeah, I think so.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Pratt, second. Dr. Newell. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
I recommend the board take action to approve the resignation of Mrs. Michelle Stearns from the position of guidance counselor, effective August 30th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. LaChapelle, a second.
Second.
Mr. Lambert, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
The next one is building use requests. I recommend the board take action to approve the following building use requests. Mrs. Cheryl Patori and the Whitehall, Patorti. And the Whitehall Chamber of Commerce is requesting the use of the high school parking lot September 26th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the overflow during the Sasquatch Festival. Mrs. Alexis Hovland and Mrs. Jessica Martindale with the Turning Point Dance and Acrobatics is requesting the use of the junior senior high school May 18th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd for dance rehearsals and recitals. They need access to the auditorium, lobby, music room, band practice rooms, bathrooms, junior high classrooms, stage, sound box, and lights. And the dates are listed below. And then Miss Greta Hoekstrom, Step in Time Dance Studio, is requesting to use the junior senior high school June 2nd, June 4th, and June 5th for her dance recitals and dance rehearsals and recitals. They will need access to the auditorium, lobby, music room, band practice rooms, bathrooms, junior high classrooms, stage, sound box, and lights, and the dates listed below.
Just for clarity purposes, this is just approval for the building use request. We've talked previously about renegotiating the terms and conditions as far as the fiscal compensation, given the nature of the amount of people that attend these events and the burden that it has on the district. Certainly, we want to help, promote these type of things, but certainly it shouldn't come as an expense to the district. And after some of the expenses that we incurred this last year as a result of those uses, we're going to need to go back and have conversations about what's the reimbursement going to look like. So, correct me if I'm wrong, we're not at that stage. We're just tentatively, I guess, saving these dates for these particular purposes, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And in the next couple of months, we'll have to have conversations about, what that's going to look like as far as, the fiscal side of things. So, any further questions, statements, any of the above on that? All right. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mrs. Gordon, second.
Second.
Mr. Dudley. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
I recommend the board take action to approve the district-wide school safety plan for the 26-27 school year. Prior to this adoption, the plan was on our website for 30 days for that public review.
Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. LaChapelle, second.
Second.
Mrs. Gordon, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
I recommend the board take action to approve the Wildwood School Agreement Service for the 26-27 school year.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Pratt, second.
Second.
Dr. Newell. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The rest is information.
Yep. Items of information. So we had taken oaths of office on July 7th for Lori Langevin, Jessica Rossetti, let me back up. Lori Langevin as district treasurer, Jessica Rossetti as superintendent, and Danielle Palmer as tax collector. Those were all on July 7th of 2026. The Horizons Club trip to Washington DC has a date change. The updated dates are now going to be April 21st, 2027 through April 23rd, 2027. I guess that conflicted with the NFL draft, so they decided that they needed to.
Well, that would have been a fun trip.
The hotel rooms are a little more costly, so, yeah. And we're gonna move on to the firefighter ambulance worker exemptions. So just so there's clarity this evening, we're going to have a discussion about comments, questions, concerns. We're not going to take any kind of voting action this evening, but I do think that we need to put a timeline on this, and we would like to vote on this particular matter this next coming meeting in September. If anyone has any, concerns with that, please put that forth now, but I think we've been kicking the can down the road long enough, and we need to make a decision on this particular situation. So, that being said, I believe you and Lori had a meeting with the assessors, correct?
Correct.
Can you speak to the projected fiscal impact that would be redistributed amongst the members of, or the taxpayers? Do we have a particular number in mind as to what that would be?
And Lori, feel free to jump in here. We met with two of the assessors. They really couldn't bring it down to an exact number of exemptions, frankly, because if this is passed, they anticipate there could be other people who would, put in for the exemption. And it depends on what the criteria would be to be eligible for this exemption. So really, there wasn't a good number that they put on the table. I had shared with the board the information that we had received. Lori, do you have any more specifics than what we've already put forward?
Ballpark, anything? Nothing really.
Go ahead.
It really depends on what you guys set forth for the ground rules. So she did tell us, I believe it was Dresden currently passed it at the town level maybe, or, so they currently have 9 members who are reaping the benefit in Dresden. Now, obviously, that's been voted on and passed. So they currently have 9 members based on their rules. Now, you set the ground rules of 2 years to 5 years of experience. So, until we iron out more details, it's really difficult for them to give us any idea of what that would look like for it to be redistributed. The only one that was concrete was the Dresden, because that's already been passed.
And when going through the process and just gathering information, something I had learned was if an individual was outside of our community and served 20 years, they're basically grandfathered into this and would be part of our numbers as well, which was information I hadn't considered.
So, just for clarity purposes, you could move from New York City and serve 20 years down there and come up here and automatically
Correct.
qualify for that, correct?
But only, I believe, if it's your primary residence,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
So a lot of
Correct.
people that would maybe impact are not going to be full-time residents in Dresden or Whitehall. This might be a second home for them. And they can't take it.
They claim one or the other?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you consider your criteria, what about the people that have over 40 years in, but can't physically do it anymore.
As long as they did 20.
That's gonna be based on
As long
the
as they did
criteria.
25 again.
The criteria set forth by the department. I mean, if you're a life member, I would think, in
You
any
get that.
department, you should get it. I mean,
Yeah, as
that
long
would
as
be
you had-
my
as
thought.
long as you had that many years in.
Yeah. I mean, the department sets the criteria, is that correct?
That's
They
new
have
to
to be
me.
active.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
That's new to me that you can transfer from another fire department and carry your service with you. That could be true, but I haven't heard of that. Down in Orange County, I've never heard of that. As far as Dresden, the town of Dresden goes, we have 9 members in Hewlett's that are collecting it. Out of 37 members, there's only 9 that are there full-time that meet the requirements. And that's set up for, you have to have 2 years of active service, and then once continuing on, if you hit that 20 years and you have 20 years of service, then you would get it for the rest of your life. Transferring it from another fire department, I'm not sure. I've never heard that before, but it's possible. Have you heard that?
That's just the assessor's told us, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to
It
look
hasn't been
into
verified.
what the real property tax law, section 466A, states about a transfer. All that I've read, it's about active members in that community. So I
And who
didn't see
maintains
anything
the
about a
roles?
transfer.
I mean, there's so many unanswered questions. Who maintains the roles? I mean,
The chief.
who would you
I
as a
do it.
department be expected to
Yes, and every year I
send
have
us a
to
list
update it. Every
so-
year I update it with the assessor. And certain school boards have it separate, or have their rules could be separate from the town. I know down in Orange County, one of the fire departments down there, the school board wants to have, even after you've met your 20 years, they want to be notified, and you have to fill out paperwork. Now, they're trying to get that changed, because 20 years is 20 years. Once you put your 20 years in, it doesn't matter, but that's a technicality. But Washington County and the town of Dresden have done the two-year service, and it's 10% off of your taxes.
Which is good.
Like I said, you look at 37 members in Hewlett's Landing, and only 9 right now are collecting it. I think I'm gonna have 3 more this year for a total of 12. But you look at, those are year-round residents. We
Yeah.
need those people.
And there's something with the, prior to this, you could take it on your income tax,
Well, it used to be,
but now it's taxable.
it used to be $200 tax credit in New York State, but you couldn't take the tax exemption. Right now, it's in, New York State actually has passed it to increase it to $800, and in the bill, you'll also be able to take your property tax exemption.
But it hasn't passed yet.
It's passed, but it has to be signed by the governor, which we're hearing that she's going to sign it. They realize how they have to do something to keep volunteer firemen.
Sure.
Because when I was at the meeting here last time, I gave you an idea what it would cost to put on one engine company to cover the town of Dresden, $1.5 million a year. You're paying $100,000, not you, but the town of Dresden taxpayers are paying $100,000 a year for 2 fire companies. So you can't even compare what it would cost. And it's not just the town of Dresden. If you gotta start getting paid fire departments to cover Whitehall,
We had
you're
it.
gonna,
We had a paid department in 85, right up to 1985,
really?
along with 2 other fire departments who were volunteer. Yep. They went out in 85.
In Whitehall?
Yep, they went out in 1985. Myself, Jimmy was a member, yep,
So you know how much more it cost.
wholeheartedly.
And that was 85?
Yep.
Look at what it costs now. I gave an estimate of an engine company with 3 men, $1.5 million a year. So I think I figured between Whitehall Fire and Hewlett's in Dresden, it's $300,000 they're paying in taxes to run 3 fire companies. And you're talking about $1.5 million for one engine. And one engine company's not going to cover 3 fire companies.
Right,
So- It really, and the state's recognizing how important it is to keep the volunteers, and it's dwindling. A lot of it has to do with age and then training requirements, and there's just not as many younger people around to fill in for the guys that are retiring.
And for you to be active, again, they gotta make so many drills, they gotta make so many, so they're just not getting it just for being a member there. They
Right.
have to attend all this. If they don't get it, they don't get the credits.
If you,
So-
like, if you're getting it right now through us, if you haven't met your 20 years, then you have to keep up being active every year. If you don't make it and you're dropped out, then going to take you off the rolls and that they will be notified that you don't get it anymore.
So it's a good commitment, really, it's a good commitment for the community.
I've got a little bit of just general information as far as the state goes, just so that you guys have an idea. So volunteer save New York taxpayers, just the whole state now, okay? $3.8 billion annually, volunteers, okay? If that went to a paid service through the whole state, it would cost $4.7 billion. The difference between the two, as far as upfront cost, would be in excess of $7 billion for the whole state. So volunteers play a very important role in serving the communities that they live in order to provide these services. So something small like providing the active members of a volunteer fire company a little incentive on their real property tax is minute. I want to talk to you a little bit quickly about some things going on. So the town of Dresden, which is a small town, pays 57.5% of the school tax levy here. There's only 9 members right now that are in there, okay? I have a question, and I didn't see it in the budget, but there's going to be some incoming revenue from the Champlain Hudson Power Express power line. I'm told that the school should be getting $750,000 for that. I did not see it listed in the budget, okay? So, and that will increase annually over a 30-year period to up to $2 million. So it's going to be a good shot in the arm for the school district, just to let you guys know. Okay, so how those funds are going to be integrated into the general fund, it's not shown in the budget. But this is my thoughts. So these funds should be orchestrated to provide property tax relief to keep the future of the tax levy down. Preservation of academic programs, okay? Capital planning for the future of the school district. Should help stabilize the budget if properly allocated. So it's important that you guys as board members take these funds that you weren't expecting and allocate them properly to the school district so everything works out fine. That's just something I wanted to put forward. So the tax, I'll say, the reduction of tax or the increase of taxes to taxpayers throughout the district is going to be so minute. If anything, they're going to actually save money with this program here. So that I don't think that I would see a major impact in any way, shape, or form on somebody's taxes being increased because we're offering a 10% deduction to some volunteer firefighters.
I think it's really important that we stop using the word of, it's a redistribution, right? The district is not losing money, right? It is being reallocated across every taxpayer within the district itself. In reference to the money from the Chippy project, it's alleged. Let's hope it all comes to fruition. We haven't seen a single cent yet, therefore it has not been, it's a standard case of don't,
Can't put it in the budget till we
yeah,
get
you can't, don't count on it.
I understand, you can't put it in until you got it.
Right, don't count your chickens before they hatch,
We hope they have.
Right, it would be a great infusion into our coffers if that in fact comes to fruition, but as it stands right now, I think we're already behind schedule on that, right? Weren't we supposed to have received funds already, and that hasn't happened, so that would be great. I don't think, from my perspective, I think anything that we can do to help our people out is something that we should strongly consider. I would encourage every board member to think wisely on this, do your due diligence, ask questions, do any kind of research, be prepared next month to take action on this. Vote with your heart, your mind, what you think is best and right. Obviously, the majority is going to rule in this particular situation. We thank you very much for the efforts that you guys put forth. It's a countless job. Like Mr. Frazier here's put in a lot of time and probably didn't get a lot of.
He's actually 28 years old.
Yes. He's ripening soon. But, what's one life really worth at the end of the day? If you're in peril and you need help, really, what will you pay at that particular moment to have somebody come and help you out? And that's a question you need to ask yourself. So it's super important that everyone really takes this particular facet into the equation and really think on it. The other thing that I do want to also emphasize is there are other exemptions out there that people would qualify for. The only one that I think that we personally should entertain at this particular time is the firefighter exemption. One, because that seems to have a lot of interest, and number two, I think it would become way too challenging to try and navigate the waters with anything more than that. If other board members have any ideas or opinions on that, please put them forth. But in this particular case, I think it will be just this one exemption. Does anyone have any comments, opinions that they'd like to put forth on the matter?
So Chair, I'm not sure you'll be able to vote in September because you have to lay the ground rules. As a board, you guys have to lay the ground rules out, and then the attorney will have to review the document. So I think in September, you can lay the ground rules and come to terms, and then it'll be a review document, and then you'd be able to vote after that.
Okay.
have to start the full resolution on that.
You have to
So
have a full resolution.
what would be the deadline for getting it on rolling for next year?
March.
So they would
March.
reap the benefits.
In
So
March.
is that there a particular amount of days that have to transpire from the time that the rules are brought forth to the time we can actually vote?
No, except we just have to give the attorney time to review the resolution.
Okay.
Would it be helpful for the board to get the requirements from Dresden?
The requirements of,
To be enacted.
Just follow
Yeah,
on
I mean,
the-
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Just draft the
the,
entire resolution off of theirs.
So there's only
Right.
one other school district in our area that has adopted this, which is Fort Edward. So I have their resolution of what the school, there's no other schools around that have adopted this yet. So I can share with you guys what they shared with me.
The other option is we can ask our attorney to
Yeah.
call related to this. You know, they're going to be writing out the resolution anyway, so they.
I would imagine the town's attorney must have had to put something together in order for you to be able to vote on that.
yeah, I believe so.
So we could
I
also.
think your attorney.
Yes,
get
I
it,
think,
you know,
I think
bring it
the
around.
town took the county's workup of it and just adopted theirs, I believe. I think that's how they did it.
The town
I know
attorney
mine,
did
Yes,
did
yes.
draft it.
Yeah.
Sending another
Yeah.
one to another
Yes.
municipality and said, this is what so-and-so did.
So if you've got the one from Fort Edward, I would suppose we can hand that off and work
Yeah,
from
it's the
there.
same attorney,
Yeah.
so.
So in September, we can go on that and, or get
No.
that one.
October,
We would have to,
until October.
we'd have to
Look at
review
the
it, you guys, because you'll have to set the ground rules to what.
Right, set the ground
you
rules in
want.
September. October, we could vote on this. This
Yes.
needs to be done with. We need to
Yes.
get it over with. That
Correct.
needs-
Yeah.
We need to vote on it in October.
As long as we come to terms in September, then it would be in October.
We need to come to terms in September.
Yes.
We need to come to terms in September. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
What's the likelihood
I was just
of
curious,
opening Pandora's
what
box?
does the ground rules involve?
I mean,
You're
this,
not building
really,
that.
I mean, this is my biggest
The
concern.
district
What
has
is
set
the likelihood that we
percentage
are
of what they're going to allow.
The only one
There's a
that's
veteran exemption, there's an
So
elderly
they have to
exemption, there's a
determine
disability exemption.
what they want for, and then
Well,
they
definition.
would, definitions of what it is, and the same, like years of service.
So-
Like you could, they can
I think
set
each
between
one of
2 to
those-
5 years before they're eligible for the
I think
school
each
district
one of
side.
those has to
So they
be
have to set those, I call
visited
them ground rules, but they have to set the
individually.
parameters of, for someone to be eligible.
Deal with on a case-by-case basis until they come to the next one.
Right,
whole lot
I
harder
mean,
to say.
I guess that's my
Like
question.
now,
That is a valid concern. What, are we opening ourselves up to exposure to other ones? I think that's something that we absolutely need to ask ourselves. I think
We already
trying
have
to,
it.
I'm sorry?
Have we already approved that in the past?
Not that I'm
No.
aware of.
I
We
don't
did
think
like
they.
No, but it's
For
not
the school, that is.
What's that?
Do we have any current tax exemptions for the school whatsoever?
No.
No.
Like right now, the town has a veterans.
A few years ago, they
Village
come,
has
One got voted down a few years
yeah, a few years ago, they come to the school board vote. Veterans
Yes.
Credit.
and that got voted down.
But we also have to keep in mind that the state is in crisis with getting volunteers.
Absolutely, I mean,
I mean,
everybody
there are
is.
other-
It doesn't matter what volunteer position
Exactly,
you're
but
doing.
We're talking
it's
about
everybody.
people's homes burning down, safety, rescues.
You're gonna pay more
That-
money to pay department,
Yeah.
or you're gonna pay for that?
No, but in all fairness, I think one of the reasons, and I've been on the town board for a while, one of
Could
the
you just
reasons
speak
that
up
it was-
a little bit?
I'm sorry.
Speak up just a little bit.
I'm sorry, sure.
Okay.
One of the reasons that it fell short in discussions at the town board was because of the $200, the income tax credit that was available to people in the town of Whitehall. And there was a number thrown out, and I'm not sure exactly, but a person would have had to have a home value of $200,000, I believe, $200,000 to make this exemption outweigh what they would have gotten on their income tax exemption. But times change and people change and things change, so, you know, we've got to look at this with the current data, obviously. You know, it's great that the tax people came and explained that to us last week, and I mean, as much as you guys are here, we've got to listen to the people on the other side of the aisle that are saying, why should I, on my house on Mountain Street, subsidize the firemen who, you know, maybe, I don't know where any of you live in Hewitt's Landing, but I expect we all have fine homes, and I'm not criticizing you for that by any means, but, you know, we've got a community of people that are counting every penny everywhere they can, and I want to be honest and forthright in saying that exemption that you're asking for is going to be dispersed upon those people. So I'm not saying that in any kind of a slight, I'm just saying that so that you understand how tough this decision are that we're making. I mean, I work closely with all the fire companies in the area when I don't have my school board or town board hat on, you know, I've got the tow trucks over there, and I work with the finest fire companies in the area, and I love them all, they're fantastic people, and I do anything I can to help them. But we've got an obligation, I guess is the best way of saying it, to make these decisions considering every possible outcome or every possible point of view.
And I totally agree with you, and I see how people could see it, and that's when they have to be told that you're paying $50 for your fire tax now, using volunteer fire departments. If it goes to paid, you might pay $550.
Oh,
So,
more than that.
yeah, I'm just giving an example. It'll cost them more in the long run if they have to pay. And I'm not saying that this is going to solve the problem, because I'll be honest with you, I've been in the fire service 50 years. It's going to be paid eventually. Yeah.
Oh, I said that years ago.
There's just not enough young people coming in. But this is something we can do to handle where we're at right now. But that's what people need to see. You know, if I wasn't a fireman, I might say the same thing. Why do I have to give this guy a credit? But if somebody says, well, you're paying $50 in fire tax now, but if it goes paid, you're going to pay $550 or $1,000, then I'd say, all right, give them that.
I'm not saying what I said in any kind of way to convince anybody. I'm just trying to take the heat off of the fact that, why don't you guys move on this? This is such an obvious thing. Help the fire company, help the ambulance people. Absolutely. It is that's a simple decision. I mean, you'd get a yes vote tonight, absolutely. But we're just trying to see the other side of the equation. We're trying to represent the people that maybe aren't here, or people in the community that maybe feel differently. So don't take offense to it. We're just trying to do our due diligence here. We're trying to understand, like you say, you know, that law has not been signed yet. That's a pretty important consideration, you know, that it has not been signed yet. Will it be? Probably. Will we get the CHIPPY money? I hope so. I really hope
The
so.
other piece of that
You know,
is,
will we?
as soon as that gets signed, that changes that number to 9 to probably 35 or 37. Because once they can take both, they're obviously going to.
I don't know that, and I don't, you know, I just want you guys to understand. I mean, I understand where we're coming from, that's all. I'm not saying it in any kind of an argumentative way. I know every person on this board, every person in this community thanks you guys for what you're doing, and they thank our local fire company for what they're doing, but it's a deeper decision than people think about sometimes, so.
I'll just give you one, you know, from Hewitt's Landing point of view, we pay our school taxes every year. We have 0 kids in school.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind as well.
I understand, and I understand the misalignment, I guess you'd call it, that whatever the word is, I don't know, but I'm just trying to be honest and upfront with you guys.
I think the biggest part of this, right, is there's not a dollar amount like physically attached to it to understand exactly what the impact is. And I think people are thinking that this is hundreds of thousands of dollars that is going to be reallocated across, which it isn't the case. I mean, you're talking about less than $100,000, if that, if I'm correct in what the assessors had put out there. I think a lot of it too is it's uncharted territory, right? We don't know anything about it. There's a lot of unanswered questions. You don't know what kind of an impact that it does to the district office. You don't know what kind of impact it has to everybody across the spectrum. But there does come a point where we have to actually, you know, make a decision and do something, because doing nothing is worse than not doing anything at all. To Dr. Newell's point, absolutely. This opens us up to every single exemption that's out there. But it is this board's responsibility to decide who and what we do. And if we make a decision and we're in support or we're not, well, then that's what it is. And there can be criticisms, and there, we've gotten nothing but criticism since I've ever been on here. So who really cares? Get in line and let's do it, But the point of it is, we need to do what is best for our students, our community members, and you have the right to vote whatever way you want. And we need to get all of our affairs in order. Let's get the rules out. Let's get the attorney to look at it. Let's get a timeline. I do agree with Mr. Pratt. Enough's enough. Let's make a decision. And I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yes, we are going to open Pandora's box. But we cannot sit here and talk about it and not take some sort of action.
Agreed.
We
But
just,
have the ability to say
right.
motion
That's why we're here, right? So if it goes, great. If it doesn't, we're really sorry, and we're happy, that you came out and tried your best. But we need to do something. So.
So
I've
next
got
steps.
something else that I would like to state. I heard you talking that there's no exemptions. And in that packet that I gave you, Governor Hochul signed a bill in February 2026 that any veteran who's 100% disabled automatically is going to get a tax exemption. And the board does not have to do a resolution on it. I want you to be aware of that. I don't know how many veterans there are. I only served 25 years in the Army, but I can't tell you how many 100% disabled veterans there are within the school district. But I just want you to be aware that that might show up someplace. Like I said, that law was just passed. I've talked to the assessors, and they're working on the documents from the VA to be able to put those in place. Again, I don't know if there's 2 guys or there's 20 guys. I have no idea. But I just want you to be aware of that, because I heard you talking about no exemptions, but that's an exemption that's going to be coming down the road that the board has no say-so over. The governor has passed that, okay?
I kind of wish she would do that with everything. Take the heat off of us.
Yeah.
And I want you to ask, and I want you to know that she's already passed us too much. Let us make the decisions. We can make
So
it
next
better.
steps, just so we're clear on what the board wants to do you want us to work with the attorney to draft, a resolution? Do you want to have a proposed resolution? Do you want to have a call with the attorney, in next month? Or do you want them to, what direction would you like from us to support you to make this decision?
I'd say we get a call with the attorney, develop the framework.
Let's see what Port Edward has applied to.
Take board action on it, yes or no. At that point it becomes.
Do we know what kind of impact that's had for Port Edward? They weren't able to share it. Well,
And do we
okay.
have any information from Fort Edward when we talk about this Pandora's box? What other exemptions they have given? And can we get that information?
So they just passed it right before this March deadline, so they haven't seen it come through on the tax roll yet, but currently they only have the firefighter one in place. Not, I don't know if they've had other conversations or whatever. I mean, I can reach out and ask if anything else has come up since they passed that one, but currently they only have the firefighter.
I mean, I think anyone who has been through a fire, and trust me, as a kid, we went through several of them, you can't stress enough how important these people are to the community and showing up. And I get it, that there are other people that want exemptions and things, but again, we're talking about public safety, we're talking about protecting your home. There are a ton of other exemptions that don't provide a service, they're providing a service.
I don't think anybody's denying that. I don't think anybody's denying that. We gotta.
Think about it.
But if the fire department does get out, there goes your fire tax is gonna go up higher because your fire insurance is gonna go higher because no one's there to put them out. It's gonna kill them on the other end too, so.
Well, there's the thing, that the fire department's not going to disappear because the town by law has to provide fire service. So that's where you go paid. That's what's happening with a lot of smaller towns. They're not going right to paid, a lot of them going to combination, but it goes, once you go for a combination, you've got partially paid. So there goes your taxes through the roof. And there are, if anybody follows the news, there's a lot of fire companies that are being shut down. It's mostly because they don't have the people.
Shut down or
And
combine.
then, and the other
Shut
thing I
down.
would say, I mean, we're talking, you know, you've got the Hewitt's Fire Department here, but it doesn't just serve Hewitt's. I mean, I believe our fireboat now serves the entire lake from
Sure.
Hewitt's north.
A third, from basically just south of Hewitt's up to Rogers Rock.
Okay, and we get called
Beach
out
Lake.
to Clemens and over to Dresden. We've been up to Putnam.
Well, even down here, we got 5 guys. They said 5 guys in Whitehall volunteer. They got 7 total, but out of the 5 they got, the other 2 are in their 70s during the daytime, so they have to call from the
Well,
joint.
we're all dependent on each other.
Yeah.
If there's a structure fire in Hewitt's, 3 companies are dispatched on Beach Lake automatically, because everybody's hurting for people. And like I said, the writing's on the wall, but if we have incentives, so if somebody comes and wants to join, the incentives are, your or your property tax, you get an exemption, you get money from the state back. A lot of fire companies are going with the LoSAT, Length of Service Awards program, to where you get so much a month after so many years, after age 55 or 60. I know Whitehall was trying to get it through, but that's a tough one to pass because it's very expensive to the taxpayer.
South Glen Falls, or not South Glen, South Queensbury's got it.
There's a lot of them are doing it. Putnam is putting up for a referendum. There's a lot of doing it. That's very expensive, and that the taxpayer votes on. So we don't even think about doing that, trying to get that passed. But they're looking at all different ways of incentives, and they said New York State is willing to, you know, go from 200 to 800, and also allow you to take the property tax. They read the writing on the wall. You know, they know what's happening, and they know it's going to cost in the long run. Like Bill said, to go with paid, talking a lot more money. That's going to hurt the people in this town a lot more than giving a little bit of money back to the guys on their school tax in their town and county. It's really not a lot of money for most people. Like you said, most people are taking the $200 deduction because it was better than taking the money off their property tax. But if you combine them together, it's something. I mean, we're all spending money on gas, going to calls and going to training and all this. Nobody's reimbursing us for that. So what you're getting is not, it's not like you're getting rich off it. You're not getting paid, you know, but.
Sad part, if we end up going to pay, they ain't gonna show up half the time anyways.
Well, the paid will.
Paid will, that's what they pay for.
Well, we're gonna pay them.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna pay them dearly, or they won't show up.
Well, they'll show up, because they're getting paid, no matter if you don't pay them, they're gonna get paid.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to pay them dearly to show up, you know, just like anybody else. They show up half the time when they wanna work.
God
We're
forbid
gonna
you
call
get a
the
structure
22nd.
fire and there's somebody in there.
Yep.
It's not a very nice sight.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other visitor comments?
Oh, Penny, you was trying to throw Lynn under the bus?
I have a couple, just for
Oh, sure, see,
clarification.
Lynn, if you want to do this.
So Dresden has a policy in place, and Fort Edward does. Are we going to mirror ours after them, or are we going to take it apart and make our own, or?
Well, that policy has to be ours because there's more than just Dresden
Okay.
that are in our area.
Okay.
Our policy, so we're gonna have to have a policy
Okay.
where, you know, some part of it is theirs, you know, their, I guess their management of their roster of active members will have to come from them, the same way it'll have to come from the Whitehall. Yeah, but the guidelines are what we'll work on.
Okay. That's not something the taxpayers vote on? Just the
Not for
board?
No, it's the board.
Just the board.
Okay. Lori, I have a question.
Okay.
What is the difference between tax rolls and the tax warrant resolution? Is there a big difference?
The tax roll is the detail.
Right.
The tax warrant is just lump sum of numbers by the towns.
Perfect, okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming this evening. Hopefully we see you next month. And I could have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion.
Second. Dudley. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.